In a home that radiated warmth and comfort, nestled amidst a vibrant garden and graced by an inviting porch, lived a young woman named Sophia. Her days unfolded with the gentle embrace of the morning sun, the comforting scent of freshly brewed coffee, and most significantly, the unwavering presence of her golden retriever. Max was far more than a mere pet. He was Sophia's constant companion, her silent confidant, her steadfast partner through all of life's varied experiences. From exhilarating morning strolls in the park, where Max pursued phantom squirrels with an infectious zest, to tranquil Sunday afternoons spent on the sofa, where he would settle contentedly at her feet as she delved into a book, Max occupied a central and cherished place in Sophia's world. Sophia's love for Max was boundless, an affection that seemed to deepen with each passing day. Yet, a subtle undercurrent of frustration occasionally surfaced in their otherwise harmonious relationship. It felt as though Max was perpetually attempting to convey something of profound importance, a crucial message concerning his happiness or well-being, but the words remained trapped, unable to bridge the chasm between their species. She observed his expressive eyes, his nuanced body language, his infrequent barks, and while she believed she grasped the essence of his immediate emotions, joy, hunger, a desire for play, she sensed an untapped depth, a hidden language she had yet to fully comprehend. One afternoon, while browsing the aisles of a quaint local bookstore, a particular title captured Sophia's attention: The Secret Language of Dogs, Deciphering Your Best Friend's Signals. Intrigued, she purchased the book, a hopeful intuition stirring within her that this might unlock the deeper connection she yearned for with Max. That very evening, nestled comfortably in her favorite armchair, with Max's soft snores providing a soothing backdrop, she began to read. A specific sentence resonated deeply, causing her heart to quicken slightly. A dog's eyes are windows not just to their soul, but to their current emotional state. This revelation profoundly captivated her. She had always prided herself on understanding Max, but what if there were intricate layers of communication she was inadvertently overlooking? The first practical lesson from the book manifested swiftly, concerning what it termed the whale eye. The text meticulously described how, when a dog subtly turns its head away, yet maintains an unwavering gaze on an object or individual, revealing the white sclera around the iris, this serves as a clear indicator of stress or anxiety. An opportunity to witness this phenomenon in Max presented itself the very next morning. It was the dreaded day of their veterinary appointment, an ordeal Max approached with a distinct canine aversion. He typically became restless and uncooperative, and Sophia's usual method involved a blend of gentle persuasion and physical guidance to get him into the car. This time, as she opened the car door and called out, "Come on, Max, time to go," she observed him closely. Max stood a few feet away, his head slightly averted, but his warm amber eyes were fixed on her, and unmistakably, she could discern the white rimming his irises. It was indeed the whale eye. Instead of resorting to her usual forceful approach, Sophia knelt down, her voice soft and reassuring. "It's okay, boy. I know you don't like it, but we'll be fine. I'm right here with you." She slowly extended her hand, allowing him to sniff it. Max, sensing her understanding and the absence of immediate pressure, visibly relaxed a fraction. He approached cautiously, and with a newfound patience and tenderness, Sophia successfully guided him into the car. During the drive, she gently stroked his fur, and Max, though still a little tense, appeared noticeably calmer. Sophia realized he hadn't been stubborn. He had, in fact, been silently conveying his anxiety through a subtle yet potent signal. This minor adjustment in her approach yielded a profound difference in his demeanor. Following this, the book delved into the complexities of prolonged eye contact. It elucidated that this was a fascinating aspect of canine communication, capable of conveying two vastly different meanings. On one hand, soft, relaxed eye contact shared with one's dog was described as a powerful bonding experience. Studies cited in the book indicated that when dogs and humans engaged in such loving gazes, both released oxytocin, often referred to as the love hormone, mirroring the hormone released by mothers when bonding with their infants. Sophia and Max frequently shared these extended, affectionate gazes while lounging on the couch, and she had always felt an undeniable, deep connection during these moments. The book affirmed that these shared looks fostered trust, fortified their relationship, and deepened their mutual affection, representing pure connection, a silent dialogue of love and security. However, the book also issued a cautionary note. Prolonged eye contact could simultaneously signify challenge or dominance, particularly if it was hard, unblinking, and accompanied by a rigid body posture. Sophia recalled an incident at the dog park where an unfamiliar dog had stared directly at her, unblinking, its body taut with tension. No. She had felt an instinctive discomfort then, and the book now provided the explanation. In the canine world, direct, unwavering eye contact can be perceived as confrontational. This was the underlying reason for the common advice to avoid staring directly into the eyes of an unfamiliar dog. The crucial distinction, the book emphasized, lay in the surrounding context and the entirety of the dog's body language. A soft gaze, a relaxed posture, perhaps a gentle tail wag, that was an expression of love. A hard stare, a stiff body, possibly a low growl, that was a clear warning. Sophia now possessed a valuable tool to accurately interpret these differing signals. Armed with this newfound knowledge, Sophia began to observe Max through a refined lens of understanding. She realized that when he appeared to be judging her as she sang off-key in the kitchen or attempted a clumsy new dance move, he wasn't critiquing her performance. Instead, he would tilt his head slightly, his eyes perhaps a little narrowed, or even display that subtle wail they had discussed. The book clarified that this was often a misinterpretation of his concern or confusion. Max wasn't evaluating her messy hair or her choice of socks. He was earnestly attempting to comprehend her actions. He was processing novel information, striving to make sense of her behavior. He might have been wondering if she was all right, or if this new behavior necessitated a response from him. It was not a critical assessment of her human eccentricities, but rather his cognitive process actively at work. So Sophia resolved, the next time she felt Max was giving her the side eye during her questionable karaoke session, she would remember he was merely trying to understand her, not critique her vocal range. Sophia's journey into understanding Max deepened further as she began to scrutinize his body language beyond just his eyes. The book meticulously detailed how every minute twitch, every posture, every subtle shift in movement narrated a story. She understood it was akin to learning an entirely new language, one that would immeasurably enrich her comprehension of her beloved canine companion. One afternoon, after she had gently reprimanded him for chewing one of her cherished slippers, a transgression he occasionally committed when feeling bored, Max responded with a pronounced, exaggerated yawn. Sophia, who previously would have dismissed this as mere tiredness or indifference, now recalled the book's insights. A yawn, particularly when appearing out of context, was rarely indicative of a dog needing a nap. Instead, it served as a potent signal of pacification. It was Max's inherent way of attempting to calm himself or to de-escalate a tense situation. He's trying to tell me. I understand you're upset, and I'm trying to calm things down. I'm not a threat, Sophia mused. She immediately softened her tone of voice, knelt down, and gently stroked his fur. Max visibly relaxed, his previously tense posture easing. She also noted that he would yawn when feeling anxious or stressed, such as in the bustling vet's waiting room or upon encountering an unfamiliar, boisterous dog. It was a self-soothing mechanism, a natural way to release tension. It was a silent plea for peace, a nonverbal endeavor to restore harmony. Closely related to the yawn as a pacifying signal, the book highlighted lip licking. This particular behavior was not associated with hunger or having just consumed a tasty morsel. When a dog repeatedly licked its lips, especially in the absence of food, it was another unequivocal sign of stress, anxiety, or an attempt to appease. Sophia vividly recalled a scenario where she was leaning over Max, attempting to clip his nails, another activity he found disagreeable, and he began to rapidly lick his lips. She had initially presumed he was anticipating a treat, but now she understood. He was experiencing discomfort and was attempting to communicate that. Similarly, if two dogs were interacting and one felt overwhelmed by the other, it might resort to lip licking as a means of conveying, "I'm not looking for trouble. Please back off." It was a subtle yet significant signal that frequently escaped human notice. Dogs employed this to appear less threatening, to diffuse potential conflict. It was an indication that they were feeling pressured, and they hoped their subtle cues would be understood. Therefore, Sophia resolved that the next time Max began to lick his lips out of context, she would pause and consider what might be causing him unease. It was a valuable clue to his emotional state. Next, Sophia turned her attention to the tail. The wagging tail was perhaps the most universally recognized canine signal, often exclusively equated with happiness. However, the book clarified that this was a gross oversimplification. The tail, in reality, functioned as a sophisticated communication tool, its movements capable of conveying a broad spectrum of emotions, ranging from pure joy to profound fear and even aggression. The key lay not merely in the act of wagging, but in the specific manner of its wag. Firstly, the height of the tail was informative. The tail held high and stiffly could indicate alertness, excitement, or even dominance. Conversely, a low tail, tucked securely between the legs, was a clear manifestation of fear, submission, or anxiety. A neutral tail position, relaxed and flowing naturally with the dog's body, typically denoted a calm and contented state. Then there was the speed and amplitude of the wag, a rapid, broad wag, where the tail moved in an almost full circle, frequently accompanied by a wiggling body, was indeed a quintessential sign of unadulterated joy and excitement. This was the unmistakable happy to see you wag, the let's play wag. However, a slow, stiff wag, perhaps confined to just the tip of the tail, could signal uncertainty or apprehension. It was as if the dog was cautiously testing the waters, unsure of how to react to a situation. A very rapid, short wag, held high, could occasionally precede an aggressive display, indicating a high state of arousal and potential defensiveness. But it was in the book's discussion of recent research that the most intriguing and often misunderstood aspect emerged: the direction of the tail wag. When a dog wagged its tail predominantly towards the right side of its body, it tended to signify positive emotions, such as happiness, excitement, or a sense of security. This phenomenon was linked to the activation of the left hemisphere of the brain, which in both dogs and humans is frequently associated with positive emotions and approach behaviors. Thus, when Max greeted her with a wag that distinctly leaned to the right, Sophia now understood he was genuinely thrilled to see her. Conversely, a tail wag that leaned more towards the left side of the body was often correlated with negative emotions, including anxiety, fear, or apprehension. This was connected to the activation of the right hemisphere, which plays a more significant role in withdrawal behaviors and negative emotional responses. Sophia envisioned Max encountering an unfamiliar, potentially threatening dog at the park. He might wag his tail, but if the wag was predominantly to the left, he was signaling discomfort and a desire to maintain distance. This was a subtle yet powerful distinction that would enable her to comprehend his internal state with greater clarity. Therefore, the next time Sophia observed Max's tail wagging, she would no longer simply assume happiness. She would consciously take a moment to assess the height, the speed, the amplitude, and even the precise direction of the wag. It was a complex symphony of signals that, when properly understood, could reveal a wealth of information about Max's true feelings. It stood as a testament to the richness of his silent language, patiently awaiting her to master its vocabulary. The book also shed light on behaviors that commonly occurred within the domestic environment, which often appeared peculiar or inexplicable to human observers. Sophia recalled an instance when Max stood motionless for several minutes, staring intently at a seemingly blank wall. She had initially worried, fearing he might be seeing ghosts or experiencing some form of neurological distress. The book clarified that, while it was always prudent to consult a veterinarian for persistent concerns about unusual behavior, more often than not, such seemingly strange conduct was a testament to her dog's extraordinarily acute senses. Dogs inhabit a world teeming with scents and sounds that largely elude human perception. Max's olfactory sense was thousands of times more potent than Sophia's, capable of detecting minute traces of odors, and his auditory capabilities were exceptional. He could perceive frequencies far beyond the human range and detect sounds at significantly lower volumes. Consequently, when Max was fixated on an apparently empty wall, he might actually be tracking a minuscule insect crawling within the wall's structure or a mouse scurrying in the attic. He could be picking up the faint scent of a neighbor's pet that had recently passed by outside, or hearing the distant rumble of a delivery truck long before she did. Max's focused gaze was simply his intense method of processing these sensory inputs. He was not perceiving nothing.
What is it?
He was experiencing a world brimming with information that limited human senses were simply incapable of accessing. It served as a poignant reminder that Max's reality was far richer and more intricate than her own, a perpetual symphony of sense and sounds to which she was largely deaf and blind. Thus, the next time Max was fixated on an empty space, instead of succumbing to worry, Sophia resolved to take a moment to appreciate the incredible sensory prowess of her best friend. He was merely being a dog, attuned to a frequency she could only imagine. Another prevalent, yet frequently misinterpreted, behavior was when Max presented her with strange toys or even objects that were not toys at all. Sophia vividly remembered sitting on the couch, and Max would trot over, depositing a slobbery ball, a squeaky toy, or even a random sock at her feet. She had always assumed he simply desired to play, and indeed, sometimes that was precisely the case. However, the book unveiled that there was often a deeper significance behind this gesture, a more profound form of communication. Bringing a toy could, in fact, be an explicit invitation to play, a clear signal that he felt energetic and wished to engage with her. It was Max's way of initiating interaction, of conveying, "Let's have some fun together." Yet, it could also be a gift, a genuine offering. In their natural habitat, canids frequently brought back food or intriguing objects to their pack members. Max perceived Sophia as his pack leader, his most vital companion. Therefore, when he presented her with a toy, especially one he particularly cherished, it could be an act of generosity, a means of sharing his most prized possessions with her. It was a testament to his trust and affection, a silent declaration of their bond. Furthermore, bringing a toy could occasionally represent a specific request for attention, not solely for play, but for comfort, reassurance, or even a particular need. If Max brought her a toy and subsequently nudged her hand or whined softly, he might be attempting to communicate something more nuanced. Perhaps he was experiencing a touch of anxiety and desired her to sit with him. Or perhaps he was bored and required mental stimulation beyond a simple game of fetch. It was Max's way of saying, "Hey, I need something from you, and I'm offering you this as a way to capture your attention." The surrounding context, Max's overall body language, and their recent interactions would provide her with crucial clues.
You're okay,
Was he
Max. I'm
restless?
right here.
Was he gazing towards the door? Was he merely seeking a gentle
Don't
pat?
worry, buddy.
Comprehending this
I
subtlety
understand
allowed
what you're really
Sophia
asking.
to respond not just to the superficial
just about the
request
game,
for
is it?
play, but to the deeper emotional need
understand.
underpinning it. It was a beautiful
I feel that
illustration
too.
of his complex social intelligence and his innate desire to connect with her on multiple levels. Finally,
I think
the
this
book
is it.
addressed a behavior that spoke
has to be.
volumes about Max's fundamental need for connection and security when he chose to sleep on Sophia's feet. This was not merely about finding a warm spot. It was a profound affirmation of his bond with her and an ancient, primal instinct for mutual protection. In the wild, canids instinctively sleep in close proximity to their pack members, often maintaining physical contact, to share body heat, and to foster a collective sense of security. There is inherent safety in numbers, and being close enables them to remain vigilant against any potential threats to the group. When Max slept on Sophia's feet, he was instinctively treating her as his most trusted pack member. He was both seeking and offering protection. Her feet served as a stable, comforting anchor, and by resting upon them, he was silently declaring, "I trust you completely, and I want to be close to you." It was a gesture of profound loyalty and deep affection. It also signified his innate desire for the affirmation of their bond. By choosing to remain physically connected to her even in sleep, he was reinforcing his established place in her life and her indispensable place in his. It was a quiet, intimate moment that eloquently conveyed the depth of his devotion. He felt secure in her presence, and he wished for her to feel equally secure with him. It was a beautiful, ancient instinct seamlessly translated into a modern domestic setting,
You're my best
a powerful
friend, Max.
testament to the enduring
I don't know what I'd
strength
do
of the
without you.
human-canine bond. Therefore, the next time Max curled up
never
on
realized
Sophia's
how
feet,
much you loved
she would
me.
no longer perceive it merely as a cute habit.
You're my whole
She would
world,
recognize
Max.
it as a profound expression of
You are my
love,
family.
trust, and belonging.
You are everything
It was
to me.
Max's way of saying, "You are my
love you
family
so
and
much."
I am yours." The most pivotal section of the book, and the one that most profoundly altered Sophia's perspective, was contained within the final chapter.
The text
This
is
section
easily
meticulously
misunderstood.
examined the
Let's
most
try the
widely
signal again,
misinterpreted
okay?
signals of all. These were
Good
behaviors
dog.
that almost every dog owner mistakenly interpreted, frequently leading to unintended and detrimental consequences for their dog's emotional well-being. These were the instances where human biases concerning guilt and emotion led them astray, preventing them from truly grasping the experiences
I
of their
understand
canine
now.
companions. The
I
book
see what you
commenced its
mean.
discussion with the infamous doggy
come on,
smile
not again.
and the guilty look. How many times had Sophia returned home to discover a mess? Perhaps a chewed shoe or an unfortunate accident on the floor,
It's okay, Max.
only for
It's
Max
okay.
to greet
You're
her
all
with a
right.
lowered head,
I'm here.
averted eyes, a slinking posture, and perhaps even a submissive grin, revealing his teeth.
Max,
Her
you're
immediate
so
thought had always
guilty.
been, "Oh, he knows he did something
Oh, he
wrong.
knows he did
He
something
looks so
wrong."
guilty." She had projected her
guilty.
human understanding of guilt onto him, firmly believing
You're
he
really
was
sorry?
expressing remorse for his past actions.
I believe you. I don't know.